Alrighty, the 24th of October, my first nightly recap of the season. I'll be covering the Friday and the Saturday games. Dan Vespris has better things to do on a weekend. I obviously don't. Welcome to Stuff It, a fantasy basketball podcast, brought to you as always by FanDuel and FanTrax. We got 12 games, a lot to get through. Before we get into the games, please remember to subscribe to the Old Man Squad YouTube channel. Give this video a thumbs up. Give all of our videos thumbs up. Go to the audio platforms. Download over there as well. We appreciate all of you. Look, there's a lot. There are 12 games. We're going to get right into it with the first game. Here we are. Milwaukee Bucks taking on the Toronto Raptors. Pretty good game. The Bucks do get the win in the end, 122-116. Usual suspects, I spot. Well, usual suspect for the. Let me just take this FanDuel thing off the screen here because it's already on my background. I don't need it twice. Giannis, 31 points, 20 rebounds, 7 assists, 1 block. He's not really a defensive guy anymore. He'll still get some, but not a lot. 11 of 14 from the field, 7 of 12 from the free throw line. Look, nothing really stands out here for him. The 2 threes, that's a nice bonus. With no Kevin Porter, it was Ryan Rollins who was given the start, and I thought he looked pretty good. 13 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, 3 steals, 1 block. Had a lot of questions about Ryan Rollins and Cole Anthony. Which one do I take? I think we sort of ended up at both are worth a look, and I think that's what we saw here. Cole Anthony came off the bench. He closed the game over Rollins in this one. 23 points, 7 assists, 2 steals for Cole Anthony. I would still prefer Rollins just because he is starting until Kevin Porter is back, but I think they both have value until we reach that point. Miles Turner, pretty disappointing here, 4 points, 2 blocks. The 28 minutes are sort of encouraging enough. It hasn't been a great start to his career in Milwaukee, but we hold him. Gary Trent had 20 points, 4 threes. Look, I think at some point he will end up being more of a streamer than a must-roster player, but for now he's okay. And do remember, the Bucks, they're just not as deep as they used to be, so they are going to need guys like Trent and Green, Cole Anthony, Bobby Portis. Going to need these guys to do a bit more. Bobby Portis had 11 and 8. He's very back-endy. When Giannis misses time, you throw Portis into your starting lineup. Kuzma suffered an ankle injury, I think, in this game. We're probably not rostering him anyway. For the Raptors, look, I think this is going to be the story. As long as their starting 5 is healthy, they're just going to dominate everything for this team because their depth is not great. So get used to this kind of thing. Ingram looked really good. Barnes looks pretty good as well. Pirtle has been a little bit slow. He had some foul trouble in this one. We're still holding him, but pretty disappointing. Maybe it's a bit of a buy low. I know we're early in the season. It's hard to sort of pull off those sell highs and buy lows, but maybe Pirtle is worth a look as a buy low. Quickly was good in this one apart from the free throws. 6 of 10 from the line. That's a bit of a kick in the guts. Not terrible, but you'd expect him to be better than that. RJ Barrett with 4 defensive stats. We always welcome those from him. And then the bench, there's not really anything there. I think we're going to need injuries for any of these guys to be worthwhile in a standard league. Let's go to the next game. The Atlanta Hawks, they get the win. Come from behind win here, 111-107. For the Hawks, there was no Kristaps Porzingis, who was out with the flu. There was also no Zachary Risachet, who was out with a ankle injury, ankle or knee. I think it was ankle. Anyway, Nickeil Alexander got the start. Nickeil Alexander Walker got the start. 19 points for him. Look, I guess if Risachet misses time, we just look at Alexander Walker. He does give them some really nice depth at the guard sort of wing position. Not a guy we need to target usually, but in situations like this, he's fine to be streamed in. Jalen Johnson had some foul trouble, 12 points for him with a steal, 8 rebounds. So the numbers are okay here. Obviously, we'd like to see a little bit more, but there's always a few bumps in the road to begin the season. Okongwu got the start. He had 17, 4, and 3 with 3 blocks. Certainly worth holding in a 12-team league, even when Porzingis is back. He's going to be up and down a little bit, but yeah, he'll be fine. Trae Young still can't hit a shot, 1 of 6 from 3, but he finished with 25 points, 6 assists, 2 steals. So it's fine. His shot will come around. We know he's not an elite shooter or player when it comes to field goal percentage, but yeah, he'll turn this around a little bit. Dyson Daniels was better in this one. Still had 4 fouls, but 32 minutes is sort of in line with what we should expect from him. 6 points, 9 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals, 1 block. That's what he does. He fills up the stat sheet. The points are going to be pretty disappointing, I think, this season. But yeah, he should get all those other stats. With Jalen Johnson in some foul trouble, Mohamed Gay played 30 minutes, 13 and 8 for him. We saw bits and pieces from him last year. Typically, he's not going to be someone we need in standard leagues, but it is pretty clear that he is sort of the 6th, 7th man. I think once Alexander Walker is back to the bench and Okongwu, he sort of shuffles down a bit, but he's ahead of some of these other guys. So just someone to monitor, but not a priority by any means. For the Magic, look, a little bit like the Raptors. I think their starting 5 is going to be where all the value is. Banchero was really bad in this one. Just try and ignore it and move on. 4 of 15 from the field, 3 of 5 from the free throw line, 0 steals, 0 blocks, 11 points. This is the concern with him, that his percentages are, well, they can be pretty bad, and he doesn't do a lot on the defensive end. So he'll be a lot better than this, but not a great night for him. Wendell Carter, look, it's not super inspiring, but the fact he played 31 minutes, Goga Bitadze is not doing much as the backup. So Carter had 10 and 8 with 2 steals. That's fine. You want a little bit more typically, but I don't think his starting role is in jeopardy yet. So I think we're fine to roll with him. Same goes for Suggs. Look, he's limited. He's coming off injuries. He'll be fine. The bench, I'm not really interested in anyone. So let's go to the next one. Straight on to the Boston game. And 105-95. Knicks get the win over the Celtics. Sam Hauser, much better in this one. 28 minutes, 18 points, 6 threes. That's why you roster him. He got a steal and a block as well. Cater was not great, he's going to be pretty up and down, isn't he? There was no Luka Garza. He was out with concussion, so he's in the concussion protocols. 8 points, 7 rebounds for Cater. I'd still be holding him, but he is pretty limited. Peyton Pritchard, another... look, his first game was probably better than this one, to be honest. 8.6 assists, 2 of 10. His shot will turn around as well, so make sure you hold on to him. There's going to be very inconsistent performances, I think, for Boston this season. So you just have to get used to it. Jaylen Brown was decent enough. Simons, 27 minutes is encouraging. Hold. And then your guys here like Gonzalez, Boucher, Shyman, Walsh, Garza when he comes back, they're all just going to be streaming targets. And Minot, just in case you're wondering, did not play, which is disappointing to say the least. Am I holding Minot? Look, maybe give it one more game, but at this stage, it appears like he's on the fringe of the rotation. There will be pockets of value, I'm sure, throughout the season, but yeah, I would say I'm okay with moving on from him, which it's unfortunate because he did have a really good preseason. For the Knicks, Karl Anthony Towns played. The numbers are fine. I'm a bit concerned. He's sort of come out and said this is an injury that would usually cost him 3-4 weeks. Well, why are you playing kind of thing? Is it going to get better? Is it just going to linger? So, I mean, look, you're happy that the production is there, but playing through an injury in the second game of the season is a bit worrying. Brunson was really good. Bridges was fine. Anunoby, a little bit disappointing, but he's fine. Josh Hart returned 2 points, 14 rebounds off the bench. If he's going to come off the bench, Mitch Robinson will, I assume he will come back at some point. It's very weird that he played in the preseason and then there was no word of an injury. He's listed as injury management. It's a very strange situation. We knew he was going to be managed, but this wasn't a back-to-back. It's just sort of odd. So I'm holding Mitch Robinson in my IR spot in as many leagues as I can. And then we'll see what he looks like when he's on the court. Josh Hart, hold him. I mean, you know who he is and what he does. The shot will be better than this. He'll usually get you a steal, 1.5 steals. So he'll be okay. The minutes will ramp up for him. All right, on to the next game. The Cavs, they do get the win in the end, 131 to 124. They got a little bit lucky. The Nets made this a lot closer than it should have been. Jared Allen was good in this one, 22, 7 and 4, 2 steals and a block. Evan Mobley had 13, 8 and 5, 2 blocks, not his best game. Mitchell, 35 points. He's been really good. Sam Merrill is definitely worth just sort of plugging in as a 3-point streamer for now until we get Darius Garland back. Tyson is starting, but he's not really playing starters minutes. More of just a defensive streamer, I think, if you need steals. Lonzo, if you need assists. And Dean Wade, not interested in him at all. For the Nets, after a pretty poor showing in the first game, Cam Thomas got things going here, 33 points, 9 assists. Now, I talked about this a little bit in the preseason, and I know he sort of came out and said, look, I'm not changing my game. But I noticed in the games in China, that's where they were playing, that he was handling the ball a bit more. They don't really have a proven point guard at this point. 9 assists for Cam Thomas is very interesting. So just something to keep an eye on. And if he can average sort of 5 assists, 6 assists, that'd be pushing it probably. But that's just a nice little wrinkle to his game. Michael Porter also had a really nice game, 31 points for him with a steal, 13 of 22 from the field. They're going to be the two that score, aren't they? We know that. Terrence Mann, don't worry about him. Nick Claxton, 10, 9, and 4 with 3 steals. He'll be very Nick Claxton. We know what to expect. But as long as he's healthy, Day'Ron Sharpe is going to be limited 15 minutes, 18 minutes per minute. Production is usually really nice. Wasn't too good in this one. Not worth rostering, just worth keeping an eye on. Same goes for Clowney. Zaire Williams went off in this one, 25 points with 2 steals. Just efficient shooting, 9 of 13 from the field. I don't think you have to add Zaire Williams. I have him in I want to say it's a dynasty league or at least a deep league. He'll have games like this. I thought he was somewhat impressive last season. So, keep an eye on him. And then, Saraf started but didn't do anything. Igor, Demon, still easing him back. But the 25 minutes are encouraging, 9 points, 4 assists. He will slowly creep into standard league relevance. And if you can afford to stash him, then I think you should. Oh, that's the end of that game. All right, let's go to the next one. Miami, they get the win. Very poor night for the Grizzlies. This game wasn't even close. And as you can see there, the minutes for the starters are well down. So we don't actually need to break down too much here other than the fact that Kel'el Ware started. I talked about this on the Q&A show last night, that I thought there was a chance he could start, but I wasn't sure. They went with him and he played really well, 19 and 9, a steal and a block. Only 23 minutes because of the blowout, so this could have been a much better night for him. But this should just reassure managers, I think, that he is worth holding. Davion Mitchell, after his first game where he was incredible, 2 points, 7 assists. He's just an assists streamer, I think. if you're holding him, if you're viewing him as a hold, he will be better than this, but we've seen enough of Davion Mitchell over the past 2 years to know that there isn't a lot of upside there for him. Jovic moved to the bench and was much better. 20 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, 1 steal, 1 block. Look, a lot of this had to do with the blowout, but I do think his minutes are pretty safe. I think he's okay to hold in standard leagues. Jaquez had a double-double. He's been pretty good to start the season. We've seen this from him as well during his career. He'll be really good for 2 weeks and then vanish. So if you want to pick him up while he's playing well, just be prepared to drop him when that dip comes. And then the only other player I sort of want to mention is Drew Smith, who I really liked him last season. I thought he was playing well when he went down with his injury. 21 minutes. Now, again, this was as a result of the blowout, but 10 points, 5 assists, 3 rebounds, 3 steals, 1 block, 2 threes. Definitely worth monitoring. If he can push into like ahead of Jaquez at some point, maybe when Hero returns, they play Drew Smith ahead of Davion Mitchell. If he can get to minutes in the low to mid-20s, then I think he could just do enough to be rostered. Think sort of Case and Wallace minus a few minutes. The Grizzlies, look, pretty bad, wasn't it? Let me just adjust this so we get Memphis at the top. Pretty bad. I'm not really going to dig into this one too much. Ja Morant is already dealing with ankle stuff. They play tomorrow, I believe. They're on a back-to-back, so just keep an eye on the injury report. For him, Jaren Jackson, given the result here, was actually pretty good. 19 points, 3 rebounds, a steal, and a block. You'll take that in a game where I think they were down by like 30 at halftime or something. So, yeah, look, you take this. Jalen Wells will be better than this. He's fine to hold. Coward has been impressive. I'm not really running to pick him up yet. But, yeah, I think he's someone that could have some value at some point. For the Grizzlies. All right, the next game, Detroit and the Rockets. This was a good one. The Pistons do get the win, 115 to 111. Jalen Duren was ejected, hence the 12 minutes. But it was Paul Reed who actually stepped up, not Isaiah Stewart. Reed finished with 19 minutes, 13 points, 9 rebounds, 2 blocks. We know what he can do. We've seen this in the past with the Sixers, and to a lesser extent with Detroit. So if Duren is suspended here, I'm not sure he will be, but if he does miss a game, it'll be interesting to see which way they go. I think they may start Reed and bring Stewart. I think they like him off the bench. So, yeah, just keep an eye on that. If we do get word that Duren misses time, I'd consider Reed as a very, very, very short-term streaming option. Tobias Harris is very Tobias Harris, boring, solid enough. Asar Thompson picked up a couple of early fouls, and again, a very good example of why coaches shouldn't necessarily pull back on players when they get in early foul trouble, because he only played 24 minutes and he only ended up with 3 fouls. So could have played him 30 minutes. The line was really good, 19 points, 4 assists, a steal and a block, a 3. Looking really good. So, yeah, pretty happy with what he's been doing so far. Duncan Robinson had 4 3-pointers in his 17 points. He is a 3-point streamer until Jaden Ivey returns. As for Isaiah Stewart, was really good in that first game. I think he had a 20-10 double-double. 4 points in this one, 4 rebounds and 2 blocks. He's okay if you want to just stream him for rebounds and blocks. But, other than that, not really. Ron Holland looked good during his time on the floor. 11 points, 2 steals, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, but only 13 minutes. That's a little bit worrying. The 6 fouls obviously really limited him here. What the hell's going on there? Yes, I do think Ron Holland is worth adding. Potentially worth an add until Ivy is back. For the Rockets, Amen Thompson also in foul trouble, much like his brother. So limited him. He played 30 minutes, but really had no rhythm in this one. 10 points, 4 rebounds. He'll be fine. Don't worry. Steven Adams started again. He had 11 and 10 with 3 steals. He's okay to stream as long as he's starting. Şengün cooled off a little bit, but still a really nice line from him apart from the shooting. Didn't hit a 3, not surprising. He went 5 of 8 in the first game, 0 of 2 in this one. So, yeah, what's more real? I'd say it's sort of in between, but he's certainly not going to average 5 threes a game. I think he'll end up averaging sort of 1.2, 1.3. Jabari Smith is fine. He's almost a little bit Tobias Harris-y. He's just pretty boring, does bits and pieces. So he's okay to roster. KD was really good. Tari Eason was not really good. 4 points for him, 5 rebounds. The minutes are fine. 28 minutes is sort of worth holding, I think. I get the frustration. I have him in a lot of teams, and I'm just trying to ignore it at this point. At least give him, I'd say, 2 or 3 more games. I think they play Brooklyn in their next game, so that could be a good opportunity for him to turn things around. And Reed Shepherd, 20 minutes, 9 points. The 3 steals are nice. It hasn't been a great start to the season. I'm hoping that he gets into that starting lineup at some point and we see 30 minutes. Again, I would hold if you drafted him, but yeah, it's not looking as promising as we thought, I don't think. Okay, on to the next one. Good game here. Went into overtime. The Spurs get the win over the Pelicans, 120 to 116. Look, Wemby, 29 points, 11 rebounds, 9 blocks. He did foul out, so this could have been even better. Only 32 minutes. And you can see there that of all the starters, he played the fewest minutes. That meant Luke Cornett played a little bit more, 14 and 12 for him with a block. Could be his best game of the season, or unless Wemby's injured, obviously. But yeah, Cornett's been a really good fit there. I don't think you have to have him in standard leagues because usually he won't play this many minutes, but he is sharing the floor with Wemby. They are playing them together, so that's interesting. Dylan Harper had 13 points in his 26 minutes. He looks good. For now, he's okay to hold, but once Fox is back, I do think that he will be more of a streamer. Vassell, really nice. He's had a good start to the season, as has Stephon Castle and Harrison Barnes. Please don't roster Harrison Barnes. For the Pelicans, let's fix this up here. For the Pelicans, Zion Williamson, really good start to the year. He leads the league in steals. I saw that pop up on my feed. 27 points for him, 10 rebounds, 3 steals. Looks really good. If he can stay healthy. 24 and 10 for Trey Murphy. Sadiq Bey got the start here. So no Eve Messi. It wasn't Derek Queen. We'll get to Queen in a minute. Sadiq Bey had 9 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists. He's fine as a streamer. That's about it. Herb Jones, 0 points on 0 of 8 shooting. He did have a steal, 7 rebounds. But yeah, look, he was a minus 20 in this one. I still think he's worth holding, just because he's starting. He's going to play starters minutes. So yeah, he'll be better than this. But that shooting is obviously an issue. It has been throughout his career. Derek Queen off the bench, but he played 35 minutes, 15 points, 6 rebounds, 2 blocks, 1 steal. Didn't hit a 3, but he provides them with that floor spacing. Would I add him? He's close. If Messi misses more time here, then I think it's worth considering. Do they move him into the starting lineup for the next game? Maybe. I'd have to look at who they're playing. He's coming off that wrist. I think it was a wrist injury that he suffered in Summer League. So they, I guess, hypothetically easing him back in, but 35 minutes is very, very encouraging. So I would consider him if Messi is going to miss more time. Jeremiah Fears had 13 points and 2 steals. He's looked really good as well. I'm not necessarily running to grab him, though. And the Pelicans, not that this is fantasy relevant, they signed DeAndre Jordan to a 1-year contract. Obviously, just giving them some center depth there. All right. The Washington Wizards as Josh would put it. 117 to 107 over the Mavericks. Pretty disappointing for the Mavericks, but very encouraging for the Wizards. Do I start with him? Kyshawn George. Look, I think if we had I know we have our my guys and that sort of thing. George, he might have been at the top of my list this offseason. I have him in countless teams. I don't know how many it is. I paid a lot of money for him in industry pickup. If you recall, Yuri pushed me to my limit and I got him for way too much. Thus far, I'm pretty happy. 34 points, 11 rebounds, 4 assists, 3 blocks, 2 steals, 7 threes, perfect from the free throw line, and 11 of 15 from the field. Could be his best game of the season, if we're being honest. But really encouraging start to the season for him. Hopefully you drafted him, and hopefully he can keep it up. Chris Middleton had 9 points, 3 steals. We're holding Chris Middleton. We're holding Alex Sarr. CJ McCollum was pretty disappointing. 6 points for him. He's a hold, but does he even want to be there? Who knows? Bub Carrington is... I've never been that high on him. Trey Johnson has looked much better to this point. Bub Carrington started, he had 7 points. He did have 2 steals, but in his 26 minutes, Trey Johnson had 17 points with a block. Just looks much better offensively. Probably not as much of a ball handler as Bub Carrington, but they have Kyshawn George, they have Chris Middleton, they have other guys. So, I'm intrigued by Trey Johnson. Beyond those guys, not really interested in anyone at this point. For the Mavericks, look, it's been a rough start, hasn't it, to the season? Anthony Davis was really good, 27 and 13, 2 steals, 2 blocks. Derek Lively had 8 points, 6 rebounds, only 19 minutes for him. So he's been pretty underwhelming thus far, but I think he will pick things up at some point. PJ Washington was fairly good as well, apart from the 8 turnovers. Cooper Flagg, pretty slow start to this game. He did pick things up late, so he finished with 18 points, 6 assists, 5 rebounds, a steal and a block. So nice line for him. The shot will come around. He will get more confidence. He's obviously playing at point guard here, which, he wasn't even the point guard at college. So it is a new role for him that he has to adjust to. Just give him a bit of time. Klay Thompson, don't bother with him. Or Max Christie. D'Angelo Russell, I guess he's a drop. 8 minutes for him. 1 point. What a woeful start to the season for him. So if you want to give him one more game or 2, fine. But I'm definitely okay with moving on from him. All right, let's get to the next game, which is the Utah Jazz falling to the Sacramento Kings by 1 point, 105 to 104. But before we get into that, a reminder that today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Now that the season is underway, some of those odds are starting to shift. I'm certainly sort of keeping an eye on the most improved player. Amen Thompson is still the favourite there. Assad is there, but Kyshawn George is climbing. Second-year players, I'm always sort of dubious when they are nominated, I suppose, because that jump from your rookie season to your sophomore season should be a decent one for any good player. So, yeah, but look, given what he's done in these first couple of games, I can understand why he's in that discussion. But all the odds are over there. If you head over to sportsbook.fanduel.com, get that money down now, because the odds, as I said, they're starting to shift, and they will continue to shift as more and more games are played. All right, Utah. Let's start with them. So they fall by 1 point in this one. So another good performance for Utah. So that's two good performances to start the season, which is very encouraging for fantasy managers. Kyle Filipowski started again, 10, 6, and 4. Only 25 minutes. He did have some foul trouble. I think he's a hold, though. If he's starting, I think you just hold him. Markkanen was really good in this one offensively. Did nothing else, but that's very Lowry Markkanen. Walker Kessler coming off that game where he was perfect. I think, what did he do? It's like 7 of 7 or 8 of 8 from the field and didn't miss a three-pointer. 3 points in this one. So, yeah, back to earth for him. He did have 9 rebounds. He did have 3 steals. He did have 6 turnovers, which annoyed me to no end because I'm obviously building a lot of teams around, well, with Walker Kessler as a key piece, and I don't want turnovers. And so him getting 6 is not enjoyable. We hold him. He'll be fine. Kyshawn George, 18 points, 10 assists. He's looked good to start the season, as has Bryce Sensabaugh. He had 15 points, only 22 minutes. That's a little bit disappointing, but still looks really good out there. Walter Clayton also looks very good. 10 points, 1 steal, 3 assists in his 20 minutes. Taylor Hendricks, he's probably not a drop yet, but he's pretty close. It just doesn't look like they're going to prioritize him at this point. And Ace Bailey, 0 points in 13 minutes. Look, I mean, if you drafted him, expect this. Very, very up and down, very inconsistent. Don't drop him, though. He will be obviously better than this. For Sacramento Kings, they do get the win, so that's a good thing. Sabonis returned, played 37 minutes. Of course he did, 12 and 12. Keep an eye on the injury report. Who knows if this is going to flare up again. DeMar DeRozan was absolutely terrible. 7 points, 6 assists. The 2 steals are nice. DeRozan is getting into that point of his career where he's washed. He's not washed yet, but he's certainly at the back end of his prime. Levine had 31 points. Dennis Schroeder had 17, 5, and 3 with 2 steals. He's fine. You just plug him in. We know that he'll have a month of really good basketball and then he'll do nothing. Enjoy it while it lasts. Malik Monk had 20 points off the bench. 2 steals and 2 blocks are very nice as well. But only 21 minutes. So that's not ideal. He's not going to score 20 points in 21 minutes every night. But you have to be happy with this one. And Russell Westbrook not featuring too heavily, which is a good thing. Don't roster Russell Westbrook. Keon Ellis had 3 steals, but only 17 minutes. So he is just a steals streamer. All right. Oh, what happened here? This one moved around a bit. Golden State and Portland. The Warriors look tired in this one, 139 to 119. I mean, if you're giving up 139 points to the Portland Trailblazers with everything that's going on in Portland at the moment with Chauncey Billups, you know that they're pretty tired. And they are an older team, so it's not surprising. There was no Al Horford. Quentin Post got the start. 16 minutes, 5 points. Don't worry about him. Kuminga had 16 points, 2 steals. He's looked okay. You can see the minutes were down here for the starters. This game was never really in any doubt. So on the second night of a back-to-back, they just rested their guys. So we don't actually need to sort of decipher this one too much. Jimmy Butler was fine. Draymond Green has been good to start the season. Podziemski, 8 points in his 22 minutes. I would be holding him. Moses Moody was back for this one. He had 7 points in 21 minutes. Now, was it before the last game? Steve Kerr said that Moody would have started in the opening game if he was healthy. So just keep an eye on the starting rotation to see whether he moves into the starting lineup. If he does, it would be Kuminga, I would assume, that would move back to the bench. It's not going to be Draymond. It's not going to be Steph Curry. It's not going to be Jimmy Butler. So unless they're going to start Draymond at the center more often than not and bring Horford off the bench, or does Podziemski move back in? There's still a lot of question marks here. There isn't a question mark, though, when it comes to Buddy Hield. Stream him in. Please don't hold on to him. He had 2 points in 12 minutes. For the Blazers, so despite all the off-court stuff, a nice performance for them. And again, the minutes, don't pay too much attention because this was a comfortable win for them. Denny Avdija had 20 points at halftime. He finishes with 26 points, 6 assists, 5 rebounds. Kamara had a nice game, 3 steals, 19 points for him. Despite the fact that they were against a smaller team or a team that sort of went with limited minutes for Quinton Post, Donovan Clingan had a pretty good game. I think you'd be pretty happy with this if you roster him. 14 points, 8 rebounds, 1 block. He hit a 3 and he was perfect from the line. So only played 22 minutes, but yeah, I'm pretty happy with that as someone who has him on a couple of my teams. Shaden Sharp had 17 points. Jeremy Grant has been a really nice source of points off the bench. If you did pick him up late in drafts, beyond that, I mean, there's some minutes going around here. Matisse Thybulle had 3 steals in 15 minutes. He's just a steals streamer. Young Hansen had 2 points and 2 blocks in his 7 minutes. All right, now I think, I need to just bring up the last couple of games because they were just finishing as I started recording, but they were both blowouts. So we can bring them up here. All right, Lakers get the win. I hate how this video pops up here. Lakers get the win over the Timberwolves comfortably, 128-110. For the Timberwolves, Rudy Gobert. This is why I didn't draft him this season. I thought he looked a bit washed last year, and chances of him sort of changing that trajectory are pretty low. 2 points for him. He's a hold, but yeah, this is why in all of those builds that I did where I was targeting blocks and rebounds and steals and field goal percentage, I didn't draft Gobert in one of those leagues. I just preferred anyone else, really. McDaniels, 10 points. This is the issue we've seen with McDaniels in the past, where he just disappears for periods of time and then plays really well. So if you drafted him, you just have to be prepared for this. Hopefully he can turn it around. Randall was really good. Edwards was really good. DiVincenzo was okay. I think the fact he started, the fact he played 28 minutes is probably the most encouraging piece of information from this game. 13 points, 4 assists, 2 steals is fine. But that starting role is his, I think. So, yeah, just roll with him. Mike Conley had 9 minutes off the bench. Speaking of washed, Naz Reid. I get a lot of questions about Naz Reid and whether he's a hold. I think he probably is, but I've never been too high on him. And this, like a performance like this, does nothing to fill me with confidence. So he's okay to hold. 5 points, 5 rebounds, a steal, a block, a 3. It's not terrible, but unless Gobert is injured, I'm not sold on him. All right, the Lakers. Almost went to the next game there without talking about the Lakers. Okay, Luka Doncic, 49 points, 11 rebounds, 8 assists, no steals and no blocks, but that's fine. The 16 of 19 from the line is pretty good. You're sort of looking at, 80%-ish? That's pretty good. On 19 attempts for Luka, you take that any day of the week. So he was really good. Austin Reeves also really good in this one, 25 and 11. Hachimura much better after that first game. He had 23 points. Is he going to shoot 10 of 13 again this season? Probably not. Stream him in for points or hold him just for points until LeBron is back. But his upside is pretty limited. He does nothing else. I mean, you can see here he had 2 rebounds, 0 assists, 0 steals, and 0 blocks. DeAndre Ayton, 15 and 8 with a block. And look, I think for quite a long period of time in this game, he had nothing. It's the full DeAndre Ayton experience, isn't it? He's not offering anything defensively, really. The free throws he just doesn't get to the line, and then he doesn't hit them that well anyway. So he's a hold, but if you drafted him, what were you expecting, really? Beyond those guys, I'm not interested in anyone for fantasy. All right, and the last game of the night, the Clippers Phoenix look bad. I know they won their first game, but 129 to 102 for the Suns. When Dylan Brooks is your leading scorer, that's a worrying sign. He had 21 points. Devin Booker, only 10 shot attempts. That's worrying as well. Colin Gillespie shot the ball more. Royce O'Neal shot the ball more. Grayson Allen shot the ball more. Dylan Brooks shot the ball more. That is, I don't know how that's a recipe for success. Yeah, look, Grayson Allen, if you need threes, fine. Ryan Dunn is really just a defensive streamer, but he had 0 steals and 0 blocks. He'll be better. So if you're holding him, I don't mind holding him. Mark Williams, only 14 minutes, 2 points. This lineup, this roster, just, I don't know. To me, it looks bad, like 30 win bad. We'll see. Maybe once Mark Williams is back in the starting lineup, they'll start to figure things out a little bit. But at the moment, there is not a lot of positives when it comes to the Phoenix Suns. All right, for the Clippers, much better. Their first game of the season was woeful. This was a lot better. Kawhi Leonard, 27 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, 1 steal, 1 block. James Harden, also very good, 30 points, 7 rebounds, 7 assists. Look, yeah, I mean, this could end up being a case of that. Like last year, we had the Brooklyn bump and the Utah bump. So whenever you played those teams, you expect a little bit more. Maybe we get a Phoenix bump this season for teams playing Phoenix, unless you're Bradley Beal, who had 6 points. Is he a hold? I had him as a drop candidate in my article on RotoWire yesterday, my waiver wire article. And he did nothing here to change my mind. So I'm okay if you don't want to hold on to Bradley Beal, but I get it if you want to hold on to him. Derek Jones had 17 points. Don't get that very often. Zubac's 8, 5, and 4 in his 25 minutes. Look, the worry here with Zubac's was, do his minutes drop back with John Collins, with and this is why I wasn't really drafting Zubac's. He was just going too high for me. He's still a clear hold, but yeah, expectations may have to be tempered a little bit. John Collins had 10, 6, and 2 with 2 steals. Chris Dunn had 3 steals. Chris Paul had 3 steals with 8 assists. He is just an assists and steals streamer, and Lopez had 2 blocks. So lots of streaming on that bench, isn't there? Chris Dunn, Chris Paul, Brook Lopez, all specialists. John Collins, I think we just roster him. All right, and we are done. We don't need me that big. 40 minutes. That's not bad for 12 games. So, yeah, I will be doing these nightly recaps for the Friday games and the Saturday games. So I will be back tomorrow to recap the games. How many do we have? Let's have a look. It's not 12. 5 games. Much better. So we'll probably be able to go in a little bit more depth for tomorrow's games. There are 5 of them. So, yeah, hoping to get this show out as soon as possible. Remember, this episode, all our shows are brought to you by FanDuel and FanTrax. Please go and subscribe and like and thumbs up and download. Do all of that stuff. I'm Adam King. This has been Stuff It, a fantasy basketball podcast. We are done.